Trump is getting his parade.
When you're president of the United States,
I want to be a dictator.
Okay, dictator, and your penis is this small, so small that porn stars mock you?
Drop your pants. Prove that I'm lying. Prove I didn't see your dick.
Well, it's time that you show the world how great you are with a parade, right?
The president is said to be planning a grand military parade in D.C., fulfilling a dream he's had since 2017 when he and First Lady Melania were guests at the Bastille Day celebrations in France. He watched as fighter jets flew overhead and tanks rumbled down the boulevards of Paris, and expressed a desire to replicate the spectacle in Washington.
It'll be like no other, it'll be special.
But when the cost estimates came in at a whopping $100 million, the plan was scrapped. Now it's back on.
It appears President Trump is planning himself a parade.
The date, Saturday, June 14th, happens to fall on Trump's 79th birthday. Coincidence?
Apparently, we understand would include soldiers, armored vehicles, tactical vehicles, and more. A celebration that is much more familiar in settings outside the United States, whether that be China, Russia, or North Korea.
We'll get to that in 1 second. But first, please subscribe to Really American on YouTube. It's free and it helps us get to 1 million so we can keep man titties in check. We need you.
Goddamn right.
Okay, so as Trump's mental decline hastens, expect to see more of this crazy shit. Why? Because it makes his base of monkeys go, ooh, ah. And this solidifies in his head that he is somehow more powerful with this sad, pathetic spectacle that frankly would make Sigmund Freud blush.
The president also told me that next month, he's planning a military parade celebrating the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army that also falls on his 79th birthday.
We're going to have a big, beautiful parade.
A military parade?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We're going to celebrate our military. We have the greatest military in the world.
What's the price tag? Do you
People, peanuts compared to the value of doing it. We have the greatest missiles in the world. We have the greatest submarines in the world. We have the greatest army tanks in the world. We have the greatest weapons in the world. And we're going to celebrate it.
This is Trump's dream. Ever since his mama left him as a little boy, he's needed something to boost his growing malignant narcissism and sociopathy. And what better to show the world than by acting as a third world dictator, from Putin to China. From Ergeron to Bukele, Trump desperately wants to seem bigger than life. Well, that's already happened. And he wants the respect of the world, which will never happen.
Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland have been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, fuck off.
Trump wants his parade not on the 205th anniversary of the Army, but on his birthday. You see, because Trump hates the Army. You do remember this, right?
At the time, it seemed odd. The President of the United States skipping a ceremony to honor Americans killed in the First World War, blaming the weather, even though other officials made it. The Atlantic magazine reports that on that specific visit, Donald Trump told staff, "Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." Later, he called 1,800 Americans who died in the legendary Battle of Belleau Wood suckers for getting killed. The reporter behind the story stands by it and his high-level, unnamed sources.
He doesn't understand why one would go pay that level of respect to fallen American soldiers.
That fits perfectly with Trump's past, like when he trashed Senator John McCain, a POW, who spent half a decade in a small box in Vietnam after his fighter jet was shot down.
I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
But the part of this story, other than the cost, is pretending that it's the Army's birthday we're celebrating. It's not. It's Trump's tremendous ego.
There's a reason we're going to have a big old Army parade on June 14th of 2025. It's because what we celebrate in this country is a reflection of what we value. There are a lot of vapid things to celebrate, plenty of reality shows and garbage music and stuff on Netflix.
That's fucking hilarious. Six-Pack Pete just described Trump's entire life. A superficial, mean-spirited rebuke to every single thing that conservatives pretend to cherish. While 5 o'clock somewhere was bitching about Hollywood and popular culture, the irony that he's on his knees before Trump must have somehow escaped him. Trump grew up worshiping Hollywood decadence. He was on E.T. when he said this.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
And on The Apprentice, Trump was witnessed by multiple sources dropping the C and N words, not to mention his time with Stormy.
Prove I didn't see your dick.
And The Art of the Deal, Trump's masterpiece, was written by a ghostwriter.
When he called my home, which he would do once or twice a night, my wife would often answer. And in a year and a half, he never got to know her name. He never got to know, I guess he might have known that I had kids, but he certainly didn't know their names. You know, the normal social graces that you would expect from a human being who you're deeply involved with were utterly absent.
So you bring out the book and it makes lots of money and you don't think about it again until, when did you realize that things were going awry? Was it when he said he was going to stand? What happened?
You know when I realized things were going awry? When he came down the escalator at Trump Tower.
So what we have here is a psychologically damaged man playing with tanks and guns as a means of making himself look tough. But Trump has never looked tough. Trump's fascination with dictators is long and storied, and his approach is not nuanced in the least. He really thinks he is a king and wants the ability to act like one. And it's embarrassing. He's already betrayed our allies.
No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
And now he wants to befriend our enemies. Putin, MBS, Erdogan, Kim Jongun.
I like him, he likes me. I guess that's okay. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that? We've come a long way since you know the term, right? We've come a long way. But we could have been in something. Now, I'm not saying what's going to happen. Who knows? We're going to have another meeting. Chairman Kim would like to have another meeting. We'll have a meeting. And you know the interesting, when I did it, and I was really being tough, and so was he, and we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love. Okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters. And they're great letters. We fell in love.
And honestly, I'd be frightened if I weren't so mad and embarrassed.
The Army had planned for, I think, a rather modest sort of demonstration of some equipment and some tributes to soldiers and veterans and so forth on the Mall on June 14th, which is the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. It also happens to be Trump's birthday, and Trump, seeing, I think, for him, more importantly, that it was his birthday as well, I decided to go for the huge parade with him up there in the reviewing stand. And I don't know the history of this entirely. I could be wrong. I have the impression, certainly, military parades are pretty rare in the U.S., and they tend to happen after a military victory. The only one I've seen was the one after the first Gulf War.
So Trump will get his parade, and it'll cost us more than $75 million. That's money which could have been used to help 100 school districts in red states get books, better classrooms, more teachers, safer infrastructure. But instead, the money will go to an obese, mentally damaged, racist traitor so he can get a little stiffy on his birthday. But really, after the last 9 years, are you surprised?
Goddamn right.
Tara! You're an idiot!
I may find some parts of the story to be offensive.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.